my calculations are correct, when this baby hits 88 miles per hour, you're gonna see some serious shit. Watch this.
Are attacking President Trump over his strong stance on immigration reform, despite Democrats echoing the president's demands in the past. There's more on the liberal immigration hypocrisy.
You live here?
Yes.
Well, maybe you know what a zombie is. When a person dies and is buried, it seems there's certain voodoo priests who have the power to bring him back to life.
Horrible.
It's worse than horrible, because a zombie has no will of his own. You see them sometimes walking around blindly with dead eyes, following orders, not knowing what they do, not caring.
You mean like Democrats?
As the leftists in Congress push for a compassionate bill for DACA recipients, their past stances on immigration mirror the current policies of President Trump, well before he made immigration reform the centerpiece of his candidacy. In 1990, Senator Chuck Schumer advocated an end to chain migration.
It should not simply be family relationships that determine who comes here. This bill says that if you have a skill that America needs, we're going to accept you.
In 1994, Senator Dianne Feinstein called for more agents, fencing, lighting, and better equipment, and proclaimed her dissatisfaction with how illegal immigration was hurting California taxpayers.
I think we can enforce our borders. I think we should enforce our borders. To have a situation where 40% of the babies born on Medicaid in California today are born of illegal immigrants creates a very real problem for the state, which is in deficit. We have 17% of our prison population at a cost of $300 million a year be illegal immigrants who come here and commit felonies. That's not what this nation is all about.
At the 1995 State of the Union address, then-President Bill Clinton received a bipartisan standing ovation for his tough rhetoric on illegal immigration.
We are a nation of immigrants, but we are also a nation of laws. It is wrong and ultimately self-defeating for a nation of immigrants to permit the kind of abuse of our immigration laws we have seen in recent years, and we must do more to stop it.
Then Senator Barack Obama said in 2006 to the New York Times, quote, "When I see Mexican flags waved at pro-immigration demonstrations, I sometimes feel a flush of patriotic resentment. When I am forced to use a translator to communicate with the guy fixing my car, I feel a certain frustration."
There's no denying that many blacks share the same anxieties as many whites about the wave of illegal immigration flooding our southern border. The number of immigrants added to the labor force every year is of a magnitude not seen in this country for over a century. If this huge influx of mostly low-skilled workers provides some benefits to the economy as a whole, it also threatens to depress further the wages of blue-collar Americans and puts strains on an already overburdened safety net.
But I remember the story of a fellow who was running for office as a Republican, and he was in a rural area and it wasn't known to be Republican, and he stopped by a farm to do some campaigning, and when the farmer heard he was a Republican, his jaw dropped and he said, "Wait right here till I go get Ma. She's never seen a Republican before." So he got her, and the candidate looked around for a podium from which to give his speech, and the only thing he could find was a pile of that stuff that Bess Truman took 35 years trying to get Harry to call fertilizer. So he got up on the mound, and when they came back, he gave his speech. And at the end of it, the farmer said, "That's the first time I ever heard a Republican speech." And the candidate said, "That's the first time I've ever given a Republican speech from a Democratic platform."
praised an immigration bill on the Senate floor in October 2006, saying it would provide better fences and better security along our borders and would help stem some of the tide of illegal immigration in this country. 26 Democrats voted in favor of the Secure Fence Act of 2006. Schumer said in 2009 that the American people are fundamentally anti-illegal immigration.
Illegal immigration is wrong. And a primary goal of comprehensive immigration reform must be to dramatically curtail future illegal immigration.
A 2013 immigration reform bill called for 700 miles of pedestrian fencing along the border, which required approximately 350 new miles of fencing. Border security spending in the bill totaled around $46 billion, more than President Trump is requesting to fund the border wall. In 2013, all 54 Democrats voted to pass the Border Security Act. Then President Obama said in his 2013 State of the Union address,
Real reform means establishing a responsible pathway to earn citizenship, a path that includes passing a background check, paying taxes and a meaningful penalty, learning English, and going to the back of the line behind the folks trying to come here legally.
And in 2015, Hillary Clinton defended her tough stance on illegal immigration at a New Hampshire town hall.
I voted numerous times when I was a senator to spend money to build a barrier to try to prevent illegal immigrants from coming in. And I do think you have to control your borders.
No, I'll win. What? With these morons? Yeah, but we're organized. Amalgamated Association of Morons. Local 6 and 7/8. We are morons, tried and true, and we'll do our yell for you.
The overall hypocrisy among the Democrat elite since President Trump's inauguration has saturated Washington and will most likely be their undoing in this year's midterm elections.
Okay, relax, Doc. It's me. It's Martin.
No, it can't be. Just sent you back to the future.
Yeah. Oh, I know you did send me back to the future, but I'm back. I'm back from the future.
Great. Trump,